All right, we're live. All right. Kind of like a delay on my laptop. All right,
Uh,
Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. How you doing?
uh,
All right, so before we get started with the lesson, all right, we're going to bless the names of our power and give all praise, honor, and glory to the names of our power. Barakatah Yahweh,
Barak Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahushai,
Barak Yahushai,
Bahashim,
Bahashim,
Barakah Kodash,
Rahakwadash,
Kohalayim,
Kohalayim,
La'abanawa,
Ahobanawa,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashim,
Bahashim,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Bahashim,
Bahashim,
Barakah Kodash.
Kakwadash.
All right, in ancient Hebrew tongue, these are the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also, want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and teach well. Much due respect to the sincere Akim who are laboring works, and Shalom, the believers, to the Akim or Akwaya, which would be brothers and sisters, brothers of the truth. All right, the voice of Yahushua, at it again, to the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. All right, Lord willing that the lesson be edifying. All right, to my right, I got the brother Manuel. All right, Lord willing, the lesson be edifying. All right, today's lesson is going to be much of like current events, uh, uh, various topics type lessons going to the spirit. All right, we'll let the brother read for me and we'll break down. Check, open the screen. Can you see
Yeah, I can see the Instagram page.
All right, fine, fine. What? All right, so here in the article, right, as you can see, it says, be ready to lose all your money in crypto. EU regulators warn. All right. So real soon, the economic system, like our current banking system, right, the current currencies we have is going to be useless. All right. Real soon, at any moment, Lord willing, that the current banks that we have, it just shuts down. All right. It's going to happen real soon. Lord willing. Brother Manuel, you can read both of the scriptures that's on there when it's ready.
Khan, this is Ezekiel 7:19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowls, because
They're
it
bowels.
bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. Slacky.
You gotta go ahead. You can get the NLT version.
So I'm gonna get the NLT version. They will throw their money in the streets, tossing it out like worthless trash. The silver and gold won't save them on that day of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's anger. It will neither satisfy nor feed them, for their greed can only trip them up.
All right. So we're coming to that time. We're coming to those times where real soon, you know, uh, money, cash, coins, stuff like that is going to be worthless. All right. People are going to be throwing it out like it's trash. People are going to be using it for other means other than what we're using it for today. What to purchase, what we desire, what we need, right? To do
Uh,
grocery shopping and etc. Um, you got something you want to add to that?
there was a video that I did see on Instagram where a guy was walking in the streets in a certain country. I don't remember too well, but he was walking in the streets and there was money everywhere, just flying around in the streets. He didn't touch any of it. He's like, it's worthless to me. So we
That's the spirit. That's beautiful how you brought that out. Because while you're talking about that, I'm on Google right now about to get. I'm about to pull that up where Venezuela, if I'm not mistaken, Venezuelan
con,
is over
con,
there where they threw out their cash in the streets. I'm pulling up right now on Google, so you can see the image. So you can see the images. So money, streets, working on that right now.
God.
I get the images. This is to show that there's some countries that's already experiencing this. All
God.
right, they're already experiencing what the brother just read in the book of Ezekiel. All right, so I'm gonna share their screen right now.
God. That's exactly that video I was watching.
Yeah, see, over in Venezuela, right? I'm gonna make this bigger, this image bigger, so when it pops up, okay, what do you about stuff? Right, I'm not sure if you can see it or you can. All right, so it says here, right? It says
God.
Venezuela hyperinflation leads to new banknotes for second time, like for second time in a year. All right, you can see they just got their money just on a piece of a branch on a pole. All right, and we just read here, right? I'm gonna go to it right now. The brother just read in the book of Ezekiel, right? Chapter 7, verse 19. In the NLT version says they will throw their money in the streets, tossing it out like worthless trash. All right. Their current currency in Venezuela is considered like trash, it's worthless, all right? Because they go into this system right here. We're coming to a time where everything is going to be digital, all right? Currency is going to be digital. Your identification, real soon, your driver license is going to have to be digital.
God.
Your credit score is going to have to be digital. Your credit cards, your finance, your health record, everything is going to be digital, and that's all going to lead up to what?
The
The book of
Quran.
Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16, 17, 18, right? Goes into the MOB, right? That charagma,
God.
all right? All right, so we're gonna get this one right here. All right, so here it says to Israel. Let me read this first. A new fill in the blank, like you see there, a new, not yet known to the world, just touched down in Israel, where the Amalekites are at, right? Those the little hats, big nose people, right? Their land, the land that actually belongs to us, the so-called blacks, so-called Latinos, so-called Native American Indians, right? Um, uh, a new fill in the blank, not yet known to the world, just touched down in Israel. It says two Israeli travelers returning home from abroad were found carrying a combination of the fill in the blank and the fill in the blank stealth. Sorry, so this right here uh, is combined with this right here, which is stealth, right? Which is very dangerous, all right? Fill in the blank, mutation, fill in the blank, that the country's health ministry said is not yet known to the world, right? So, the title here speaks for itself, right? So,
God.
for the menu, if you want, you can get this right here, the Blue Letter Bible precept.
God. This is the book of Matthew 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Then you can get this from down here, Luke 21:11.
Con, this is Luke 21, verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great sights shall there be from heaven.
So you're going to have all of this going on at once. All right. So while you have a nation that's rising against nation, right, and you have a kingdom going against kingdom, while that's happening, you're going to have famine, and the famine also goes into shortages. All right.
Con,
A shortage of food, shortages of water, shortages of medical supplies, shortages of everything, anything, right? Whatever society needs to be able to run as a functional society, right? From your shortage of everything, right? And while that's going on, you're gonna have pestilences. And when you go into the word pestilence, it goes into a fatal epidemic, fill in the blank, especially bubonic plague. All right. So in one of the similar terms, right? You got disease, you got sicknesses, you got infection, contagion, right? And contagion also goes into close, like a close contact. To receive a disease, a infection, it's contagious. You get it from close contact, uh, uh, fucking saliva exchange, body fluids exchange, right? Blood exchange, right? Getting bit, getting scratched, laying down with someone who's infected with a pestilence. Okay,
con,
um, uh, you're gonna have different types of diseases going around, even diseases that we've never heard of or seen of before. Uh, Pestilence that's going to come directly from on high, from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua himself, without even using Esau Edom, so-called white man, right?
con,
Esau Edom is also going to be used, which he already is. He's already being used to make different pestilences, but it's also going to be pestilences that's going to come directly from our power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, that we never seen before. All right. And then while that's going on, you're going to have earthquakes, which would be so-called natural disasters. We'll have actual earthquakes, and there's already reports, like for example, Tokyo. Tokyo was hit with I think, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake,
and
and it caused a great number of their citizens to have no power.
con,
And so while you have actual earthquakes going on, we're gonna have tsunamis, we're gonna have dust storms, desert storms, freaking rainstorms, tornadoes, cyclones, right? And the list goes on. All right. So we're gonna have all of that going on. And this is one of the events that's taking place right now, uh, as prophecy is speaking. All right. While nations are going against one another in kingdoms, we already experiencing the famines, right? That those evil arrows of famine is daily increasing. And then you have different types of pestilences that Esau, Edom keep dropping out like it's a fucking album, like
mm,
it's an iPhone. Every week is a new variant.
con.
All right. I'm gonna get this one. I'll let you read it out. You can read the article and the scriptures that's on file.
Con. So this is a World War III alert. Former Russian, foreigner minister warns Russia intends to attack members of NATO.
All right. So
We're
you can read the precept ready.
So this book of Matthew 24 and 6 through 8. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows.
And we just read in the previous article, you just read in the book of Matthew and the book of Luke about what? That while there's pestilence is going on, there's going to be famines, there's going to be what? Nation, right? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, just paraphrasing, right?
God,
You see how everything is tied up? We're literally in the beginnings of sorrows. We're literally in a very time of this very prophecy is happening right in front of our face. We're in the beginnings of sorrows.
God, just the beginning, because it says but the end is not yet.
Yep. You can continue on.
Khan. This is the book of Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
So says for the vision is yet for an appointed time. So all of these prophecies all have an appointed time for it to be fulfilled, to be manifested. So even though we're constantly hearing wars and rumors of wars, and no, and one of the major prophecies that we are waiting for uh, is World War III, right?
Khan.
But that has an appointed time to be fulfilled. But before that can happen, we gotta wait for what? That other major prophecy to be fulfilled, which is what? The Quran.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So every prophecy, or you say vision, all has an appointed time, and it says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So it's going to manifest to the world, right? And people are going to realize, like, okay, these men, right? These men who've been prophesying about these prophecies has actually come to truth. They were not lying, all right? Because the scripture says what that the words of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, is faithful and true, all right? What he says is true. It's going to happen. And it says, though it tarry, wait for it because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So as much as we're constantly hearing wars and rumors of wars, where we're hearing how China and Taiwan is
Mm-hmm.
building up that heat, right? And how Russia looks at Babylon, aka America, being weak, as
Khan.
not being that bully no more, right? And we're constantly in the spirit, like, oh, like, yo, World War III can happen at any moment. World War III can happen at any moment. You got to remember, World War III has an appointed time. Even though it feels like it's tarrying, it feels like it's delaying, but you got to remember that the visions all have an appointed time. You got to wait for the other prophecies to be fulfilled. So even though it feels like the prophecies, like two major prophecies, and even prophecies in the book of Second Esdras, chapter 15, chapter 16, chapter 9, right, and other prophecies, other books, right? It feels like it's delaying, it's taking long. Mind you, it's going to happen because it shall surely come. All right.
Khan.
You can move on to Revelation.
Khan. This is the book of Revelations 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So that's the World War I pass and World War II. So yeah, it's definitely surely come to pass. This is a book of Revelations 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Gone.
So that shows, so World War I passed, and there's two more to come. And then we already know that World War II already passed. So when they say the third will come quickly, well, you best believe it's going to happen because Yahweh Shai words, it clearly said that World War I passed, right? One will pass, and behold, there come two more wars. So if World War I already happened, World War II already happened, you best believe World War III is going to happen. Okay.
Gone. And I saw this article today about Russia, barking back at the U.S. They were saying that if the U.S. keep acting the way they act and acting all tough, they said they have something mighty that'll humble America.
Oh, Khan, yeah, I remember coming across a post like that where what you just said, how they have something much more mightier than what Babylon has, because there's also articles that goes into how I'm gonna just try to paraphrase it the best of my mortal memory, but how Babylon, aka America's military, its nuclear system, the nuclear weapon system, is like 15 years behind
Mm-hmm.
So Esau Edom's nuclear weapon system is like it's like old school. It's compared to nothing compared to what Britain has, what China has, the nation of Moab, what Taiwan has, all these other nations have, right? That's how far back, that's how weak Babylon, aka America's weapon system is. And you got the simple here in Babylon talking about, oh, can nobody fuck with America? You know, we have the best military. No, we don't. Right? Well, I would say no, we don't. You know, those who we have the best military. We have Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, the Lord of
Con,
hosts, all right? But
con,
those who are still here, right, mentally, spiritually, right? Hey, that's y'all army. Y'all fucking army is weak as fuck.
we.
You know? I'm gonna get another one real quick. And then see the one I want to this one right here. Definitely gotta bring this out because a lot of you women are just too damn comfortable. Hold
Con,
on, I'm about to share that. The one where it talks about how that model chick was found dead in the suitcase.
con, con.
Yo, bad times are coming for you women. No, you women that are at ease. And we trying to warn you, like, yo, get your ass in order before it's too late. But then again, only those who are meant to wake up are going to wake up. But you're going to have to wake up when all hell breaks loose. You can read it up whenever you're ready.
Con. So this article states Russian model who trash talked on social media found dead in suitcase. Ooh.
So not too long ago, we did a lesson where how Russia banned Instagram, right? Over there in Russia, and there was a chick on it, a blind-haired chick. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just speaking as a man that that very woman that was on that article where it says how that when Russia banned Instagram and how it pretty much ruined the lives of many there, that very chick that was on the article is that very chick that was found dead in the suitcase.
Con.
I'm just speaking as a man, like this is what it is, but hey, but still, the point is like, yo, we're coming into those times where the love of many is going to continue to wax cold for another. And it doesn't matter if you're a woman, if you're an IG model, if you look really good. To be honest, if you look really good, you're really a target, and they're really going to get you.
Con.
You can read the scriptures that's on it when you're ready.
Con. This is the book of Isaiah 32:9, the NLT version. Listen, you women who lie around and ease, listen to me. You who are so slung or smug, and smug meaning having or showing an excessive pride in oneself or one's achievements. This is the book of Isaiah 32:10, NLT version. In a short time, just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care for your fruit.
Read that again. Read that part again.
In a short time, just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care.
Hey, so all of you women that don't want to take heed to the report, right? You don't take it serious. You don't take the Holy Bible serious. You don't take the words of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua serious. You don't take the men, the servants, the prophets that he has set up to give you warning, right? The so-called black woman, so-called Hispanic woman, so-called Native American Indian woman, right? Our woman, right? Real soon, you being that prideful state, that prideful spirit that you don't need a man, you're a strong, independent woman, you're a G.I. Jane, you're a Wonder Woman, right? You don't care at the moment, you just living it up because only God can judge you, which the true name is Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, right? Well, guess what? Real soon, you're going to suddenly begin to care. Because why? Because real soon, society out here is going to be like a purge-like society, a lawless society. Ain't gonna be no 911 for you to call. Ain't gonna be no police officers to come on site and help you. There ain't gonna be no daddy E, so-called white men, the servant to call on you for help. All right, they it's gonna go from the current society that we in to where it's going to be like a purge-like society, which would then usher in what? Martial law. Martial goes into warlike. So it's going to be like we're going to go from the current civilization, how it is now, where there's some laws, right, to where it's going to be a purge-like society, which is going to cause all hell breaking loose, right? And then that's going to be Esau Edom's way or his excuse to usher in his troops to enforce martial law, warlike law. And when those times come, Jacob's trouble, which is right around the corner, the Lord willing, right? That's when a lot of women, I mean, a great number of women are going to suddenly begin to care. You continue on.
Come, for your fruit core will fail, and the harvest will never take place.
Continue.
This is the book of Isaiah 32 and 11, NLT version. Tremble, your women of ease. Throw off your complacency, strip off your pretty clothes, and put on burlap to show your grief. So complacency, obviously meaning the pride, a feeling of smug pride or uncrucial satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements.
So Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai is telling you, you women that are at ease, right? Who doesn't care about the wicked decisions that you make every day, right? You're not trying to get in order with Yahweh Shai, especially you so-called daughters of Zion, right? You so-called righteous women, right? You claim to be in this truth, but yet you got a head at home and you still trying to learn from other men, right? You all in another brother's comment boards. You go from a comment board to a comment board to comment board, constantly shalom, like, I can't speak for all brothers, but just speaking as a man from my end, don't fucking shalom me, all right? Don't shalom somebody else, all right? You're supposed to be learning silence as the scriptures say, all right? Learn in silence. You don't need to say nothing, all right? And especially y'all, especially you so-called righteous women, you know better, and you gonna get it the worst. And a lot of you are going to be stripped from a lot of things, from not just the women that came to this truth that's still wicked, but definitely those who are still of the world, right? Not only going to be stripped from your costly arrays, mentioned what in the book of First Timothy chapter 2, right? Costly arrays, your expensive clothing, pretty clothes, right? But like all of like your worldly possessions, your car, your place of dwelling, your wigs, your makeup, your what's it called, a girdle, what the women use on their like those waist trainers shit, like all of your possessions that you put over your head, over the Israelite men, putting over our power, Yahweh Shem Shai, yo, everything's going to be stripped from you. It's going to be taken from you. And it says, put on burlap to show you grief. So a lot of you women are going to be dressing in an attire where people can see that you're catching hell, that you're in grief, you're mourning, you're groaning. You ain't gonna be worried. You ain't gonna be dressing the way how you dress when you go out to the club. You're gonna be dressing in baggy clothing, dirty clothing, trying to make yourself least attractive, trying to cover up your physique, your shape, because you're mourning, you're groaning, you're poor, you don't got nothing, everything was stripped from you, but also you're going to be witnessing how a lot of women are going to be getting ravished, raped, violated in broad daylight by groups of men, groups of many people. And that's going to cause you to what? Suddenly to care. Okay? But if you got something to add to that, brother Manuel?
No, we good. We can move on, brother.
All right, fine. I think there's one more I want to show. Yeah, this one right here. And then you can touch some news articles and kind of go to the spirit, bring out some precepts, and brother, you want it, got some scriptures on the board. Get those. But yeah, right here it says the Israelite pie chart of salvation and destruction. All right. So here it shows that 1/3, mind you, this whole portion right here, right? Even the white part, which is going from 144,000, is also this right here, the 144,000 elect men, is part of the 1/3, right? It's not two different portions. They're part of the same group, okay? So you have this very little portion of men right here. Very, and they want to be like winning a lottery ticket, all right? And then you have the remaining, which is the men, women, and children, right? So that shows that a great number of our people, right, of the so-called who? Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native American Indians, right, are going to die. All right, they're going to receive destruction instead of salvation. All right, that 1/3, the elect and the men, women, and children, right, are going to be part of the salvation. Lord willing, we are that 1/3. All right.
Willing.
You can read it right here. When you're ready.
Book of Zechariah 13:8 through 9.
Yeah, the whole thing that you see there.
Con. And it shall come to pass that in the land, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, 2 parts within or therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, my power.
Straight to the point. The 1/3 are going to be the ones that truly knows and believe in the name, the true name, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yahweh in the name Yahushai. All right, they want to know the name and believe in the name. That's why it's very important to not just only know the true name, but to also believe in it. Because the scriptures explains how that, just paraphrasing, that that the that the righteous, talking that the name of the Lord is a strong tower, that the righteous run into it, paraphrasing, right? And how are you going to be able to run into that strong tower to be saved when you got camps out there saying, oh, that the names are not important to know, that you can call on any name, he knows your heart. No, you have to actually know the true name and believe in it. Yahweh, he is, he exists. Bahasham, in the name. Yahweh Shai, he delivers. Right? Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Not Ahaya, not Yahuwah, not Yahusha, not Yah. Because even though it says Yah in the book of Psalms, but Yah means he. So when you just call on Yah, you calling on to he, but he who? Who is he that you're calling on? Calling on he Satan? He the so-called white man? He JC? He who? All right? You want to call on the one that exists. And who's the one that exists? Yahweh. And who's the one that delivers? Yahweh Shai. And then two parts are just going to die because you're either a false prophet, you're wicked, you're a non-believer, you never want to take heed to us. If you're part of 2/3, you're going to be cut off. But the 1/3 are also going to go through that trial of affliction, catches some hell. But the reason why they're going through that is to be purified, to become perfect in the eyes of Yahweh Shai, so they can take off, they can put off that corruptible and put on the incorruptible. Okay? So we gotta be cleansed first, all right? And we're cleansed by going through that furnace of heat, that trial or affliction, okay? Trying to get that filth off of our filthy righteous rags, okay? I think that's the last article. Yeah. Let me see what the God in common core. I'm not trying to make the lesson too long. I want to make the point.
I do have that scripture too.
Which one?
The one that says, roughly paraphrase, where it's, the corruptible into incorruptible.
Come on, get it.
Con. So this is 1 Corinthians 15:42. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in incorruption. It is raised in incorruption. Con.
You can break it down if you want.
Con. It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, and it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul, and the last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Howbeit that was not, which is spiritual, but that which is spiritual, and afterward that is that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. As is the earthy, such are also, or they also are the earthy, that are earthy. And that is heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly. And as we have born in the image of earthy, we shall bear also the image of the heavenly. Now I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, neither doeth in incorruption and inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep. We shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of the eye. At the last trump, from the trump shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
A whole lot of meat on that bone, right? Straight to the point, when it comes to that 1/3 and 2/3, right? In order for the 1/3 to receive those incorruptible fleshes, right? To be able to enter the chariot, to enter the kingdom of heaven, right? You gotta go through the hell. You gotta go through those trials and afflictions, right? Um, because we can't enter into those chariots in the current flesh we're in because the flesh is filled with all kinds of wickedness,
Corrupted.
the righteous rag. It looks like a fucking cum rag, right? It's just filthy as fuck. Got stains all over it, right? Right, but that's the purpose of the trial for 1/3, right? You got to go through that process in order to change, to become perfect in the eyes of our power. Right?
Gone.
You want, you can read this up. The one that's on the screen.
Oh, Khan. This is Ezekiel 7:15. The sword is without, and the pestilence, and hold on, I kind of got a little blurry. Okay, and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him.
So mind you, doesn't matter where you go, right? The 2/3 of our nation, and even these other nations, right? Those who are marked for what? For judgment, to be killed, right? Doesn't matter where you go. You can be in the field somewhere, thinking that this is only you out there in the cabin in the woods, right? Out there in the fields, right? But you're going to be killed by the sword, and the sword comes in many forms. You're going to have Esau's military, his technology that's capable of tracking your steps. They probably can track, your body sense and see where you've gone. Shit, they
Mm-hmm.
got dogs, right? Canine animals. I wouldn't be surprised if they have these slaughter bots that's also capable of picking up your scent. They can pick up your heat vision, all kinds of visions, right? You're gonna have drones, shit. You saw Edom, there's already been proven that he has artificial intelligent, like mosquitoes, insects that can fly, but it's robotic and it's pretty much like cameras.
Con.
So, so you may think that you're out there, in good case in the field because there's only you out there, but not knowing that that little fly that's on the window looking at you is an actual artificial intelligent fly that's recording you and that's sending a signal back to Esau Edom, giving him your location, and they're gonna come get you and kill you. All right, there's no escape. All right. And then for those, then that's just like one of many examples, right? Just speaking as a man, right? Um, and then it says, he that's in the city, famine and pestilence, shall devour him. So mind you, in the cities, right? You have, supermarkets, you have, restaurants, you have all these places where you can buy stuff, right? So, you're going to experience that famine, the shortage of food, the shortages of everything. And that's going to eventually lead to cannibalism. People are going to start eating one another. All right. And then pestilences shall devour him, different types of diseases, viruses that was created by Esau, right? Well, really from Yahweh Hashem Shah using Esau on the left hand side to create these particular pestilences, and even pestilences that are going to come directly from Ohio, from Yahweh Hashem Shah, divine pestilence, right?
Con.
There's no escape. There's no escape. Let me get this one right here. The next one you can read it.
Con. This is Ezekiel 7:3. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine angel upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abomination.
All right, so it says, right, he says, now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee. And this is the point right here. And I will judge thee according to thy ways. All right, so whatever you've done in your past lives and what you've done on this life, because mind you, your works follows you. Right? So if you was wicked as fuck 3 to 4 generations ago, 6 to 8 generations ago, and then the list goes on, right? Those works has followed you to this lifetime, right? And if if Yahweh Shai made it to where you want to remain wicked in this generation, this time, right? Well, you're going to be judged based off your ways, based off whether you was being wicked willingly, or you're going to be judged according to your righteous way, your righteous ways, right? And Lord willing, we the sincere Akim and the few sincere Aqua, right, will be judged according to our good ways, right? Trying to please our power, Yahweh outside and the best of our ability. So we don't receive destruction, we receive salvation. So everyone here on planet Earth are going to receive their rewards. They're going to be judged according to their ways. Especially for those who has a mindset of only God can judge me. Well, guess what? He's going to judge you based off of thy ways, okay? Based off of what you did in this life in your past lives, all right? And it says, then I will recompense upon thee all thine abominations, all right? So, you're going to get what you sowed, well, what you reap, all right? You did wickedness, hey, you're going to receive destruction. If you try your best to please Yahweh outside in the best of your ability with your whole heart, mind, body, soul, you're gonna be judged according to your good ways. All right, Lord.
God. And I'm just gonna be righteous. So whatever you're deserving of is what you're gonna get.
Yep. There was this article I want to get my. I'm not trying to make it listen too long. I want to
God.
pretty much get to the point. Because the title is also current events and various topics. I want to do some current events real quick.
God.
I got this article right here. If you can, about Pesha, if you can go to the book of Ecclesiastes, and we can read chapter 3. There's only 10 verses. If you got the same book that I have, go to page 547. That's where you can find Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Page 547. And then I have some precepts on my phone too to back you up on.
All right, what chapter?
Chapter 3, and it's titled as Everything in the Most High's, Yahweh Shemel Shai's Own Time.
So chapter 3, verse 1.
The whole there's 10 verses. We won't read all 10, but I'm gonna pull this article out real quick. Well, I'll probably read like 2. Yeah, I'm gonna read 2 real quick. All right. Right now. I'm getting the first one out of the 2.
This is a
reloaded.
okay.
All right, so here, right, from CNN, there's an article that goes into saying a 13-year-old was behind the wheel in Texas, crashed, like a 13-year-old that was behind the wheel in Texas crashed that killed 9 people and left 2 University of the Southwest Golfers critically injured, right? And you can see it for yourself. That's the vehicle that the 13-year-old was behind, right? All right, so I'm gonna get these precepts that I got real quick. All right, I'm gonna read the book of Deuteronomy, chapter, what the hell goes up? All right, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 39, right? And it says, "See, now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me," with a lowercase g. "I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." And I'm gonna get one that's a precept to back that up, to add more meat to it. All right, so the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7. "I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, Shai, do all these things." All right, so this article that we just read with the 13-year-old kid that was behind the wheel and killed those 9 individuals and left 2 injured, right? That was Yahweh Shai, putting the spirit on that kid to be what? A spirit of vengeance. The spirit of vengeance was on that kid to fulfill judgment, all right? Because he what? He kills, he makes alive, right? So if you want, you can start reading from the very beginning.
This is chapter 3 and verse 1. "To everything there is a reason and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted."
All right, hold on. So you see, right? The Brothers is right, said a time to be born and a time to die. So, and we just read through the spirit, right, of Yahweh Shemel Shai in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 39, I think, right? How he kills and he makes alive, right? He wounds and he heals, right? Well, it was because our power has that kind of power. He's the Most High. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, right? That time came where that 13-year-old and those who were killed and injured, it was that time, right? They said time to die. It was that time. It was that very time for them to be killed. All right. You
Con,
got also hey, verse 3 even say it. Go ahead. Read it.
Con, this is verse 3. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up.
And I'm gonna read this again. Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I, see now that I, even I am He, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Now, read verse 3 again.
Con, this is verse 3. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up.
See? Yahweh Yahushai had the power to do all of this, and it was a time for what? It was a time for these individuals to die. It was a time for them. Uh, it was a time for them. It was a time for them to be killed. All right.
Huh.
You can continue. You can continue on.
Con, this is verse 4. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sue, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace,
Oh, read verse 8 again.
a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
And I'm gonna get this for you real quick. So the brother just read in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 8, right?
John,
And how do we know that we're not in a time of love or a time of peace, but we're in a time of what? Hate and a time of war? Well, we read it earlier in the beginning of the lesson, bringing up articles to prove it. Here in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 24, and I'll read from 6 through uh was it 6? Yeah, 6 through 8, all right? And
John,
ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we're in a time of war, in a time of rumors of hearing war. That doesn't sound like a time of love and a time of hate. I mean, Salaki, that doesn't sound like a time of love and a time of peace. Right? We're in a time of death, like a great number of death increasing. We're in a time of the love of many is waxing colder and colder daily. We're in a time of hate. All right. We're in a time of war. We're coming to the very close to the times of what? World War III really popping off. All right.
John,
Um, and this is also proves how we're in a time of hate and a time of war, right? For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All of this is going on right now as we speak. All right. And then verse 8. All of these are the beginnings of sorrows. All right. So we're living in the beginnings of sorrows. We're hearing wars, rumors of wars. We're in a time of hate and a time of war. You can continue on.
John. This is verse 9. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? I have seen the travail which God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, hath given to his sons of men to exercise or to be exercised in it.
All right, so I wanted the brother to bring that out because this is time for everything. All right, a time for everything. How we just read it in the book of Habakkuk 2 and 3, right? That the visions have an appointed time, right? Everything is on Yahweh Shai's time, right? Every time when someone died, when someone passes away, when someone gets sick, when someone heals from sickness, everything that happens all has a time, an appointed time. All right. That's why we're in a time where you want to be very circumspect, operating, be very circumspect. Be careful how you move out there. Be careful how you just trying to be friendly with anyone. All right, constantly staying prayed up, constantly praying for forgiveness, constantly praying for spiritual things. All right,
Con,
so the time we're coming into is going to get very bad. All right, we're going to start seeing a great number of deaths increasing. We're going to start seeing pestilences that we never heard or seen before. We're going to start seeing Esau's swords that we've never seen before, heard of before. All right. Let me get some. Oh, there was another article. So I forget. So I was told about you. I was about to forget it. If you never brought it back to my mind. Um, Bear with me.
con.
Uh, all right, let me get this one right here. This. Oh, all right. All right. So it says a man shot and killed his supervisor near Greenway Plaza, Houston police say. It says a worker shot his supervisor to death inside a Greenway Plaza building Wednesday, police and fire officials said. The motive, right? The motive for the shooting was not immediately clear. We do not know why he chose, we do not know why he chose to target his supervisor, said HPD executive assistant chief, right? We do not think this was random. Right? So of course they don't know why. They
Mhm.
don't know what was the motive. But we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, through
Con,
these scriptures, we know that Yahweh Yahushai put the spirits of vengeance on that very man who shot his supervisor to fulfill judgment
mm-hmm.
for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because the scripture says how that they appeased him, that made him. So these spirits of vengeance did exactly what they were commanded to do. They controlled that man, that particular being, to shoot his supervisor. All right, so we know through the spirit of power what happened. All right, it was time for that supervisor to receive his judgment. All right, and Yahweh Shai did it by putting a spirit of vengeance on that employer to shoot his supervisor. All right, that's the true reason behind it. All right, we don't know exactly why, like the kind of wickedness he did, but of course he did something wicked and he didn't repent, so he received judgment.
Con.
Um,
Honestly, like he probably did something wicked to that man that, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua put the spirit on him to end his wickedness.
yep. Let me get something from there and we can close out. Let's see. Brother, you want to brought something out that caught my attention about how we was getting on how a lot of women are going to suddenly learn, like they're going to suddenly care. So like they will suddenly care. And
Con.
this and one of many reasons why, other than being stripped from everything, from all their treasures on earth, their worldly possessions, right? But they're going to witness other women and even men, children, people getting ravished, right?
Con.
Trying to find that one that Brother Dewana brought up. This one right here. Got it. I'll let you read it. You can read it whenever you see it. It's Lamentations.
Yeah, Con. Lamentations 5 and 11. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah.
All right. So these and Who is it? And mind you, Zion. When it says Zion, when it says Judah, when it says Israel, when it says Jerusalem, it's a people before it's a place. All right, so it's speaking on how when it says they ravished women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. All right, let's talk about our women, those who belong within the 12 tribes of Yasharal. Whether you believe it or not, if you claim to be one of these bywords based off your father's seed, you come from one of these 12 tribes. All right, and if you want to remain wicked, you don't want to get a order. Well, guess what? When it says they, hey, the wicked portion of our nation, the you choose, right? They're going to ravish a lot of women, all right? Especially when a lot of women, real soon, more women get drafted to World War III. You're going to be a spoil. And what do men out there on the battlefield usually use women for as a spoil? Hey, to ravish them, to please themselves. All right. That's when a lot of our women are going to suddenly come into realization and they're going to suddenly care. All right. We'll be like one more week close out. Okay, let's get this one. Mind you, I want to put that vibration out there. Put the vibration out there. You got it out there, ready?
This is the book of Isaiah 13 and 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
All right, so a great number of people who have children are going to experience their children, their sons, their daughters, their grandchildren, right, being dashed into pieces before their eyes. People are going to literally see their children getting butchered up, being prepared for a meal. They're going to be dashed into pieces by the missiles, by explosives, by civil war, right? Because civil war is something that's going to happen to here in Babylon, aka murder. All right, it's going to happen. It's prophecy. All right, it's going to happen. Lord willing, I get it. I'll prove it. But a lot of people are going to lose their children being dashed into pieces in many ways. Being prepped for a meal, from different kinds of like wars that's going on out there, getting molded down by Esau's blessing, right? And while that's going on, right, people are going to experience their houses being spoiled. Like, whatever goods, like even their place of dwelling is going to be taken from them. Their house, their apartment, whatever. And whatever items that they had in their crib, food, water, weapons, all of your doomsday prep items, that's going to be considered spoiled. It's going to be taken from people. All right. It's going to be taken from them. And while that's going on, these men who has wives, and even, mind you, have women that like to sleep with other women that consider their women to be their wife, are going to get ravished. They're going to get violated. They're going to lay you down by force. Okay? They're going to insert themselves onto you. They're going to come onto you violently. Okay? And that's when, again, a great number of women are going to suddenly care. They're going to get out of that prideful, that smug, that complacency spirit, right? That prideful spirit, that being feminine, right? Feminine, right? Getting out of that spirit of being westernized and try to come back to being easternized, trying to be a woman, right? Since I mentioned about that Civil War, I'll get that and I'll close out. But if you got something you want to bring up, you can. I'm got to get it from the Bible. But that's the time we're coming into, all right? It's the one that goes into kingdom divided against kingdom, but then when you get it in the NLT version, it actually says civil war, kingdom divided against itself.
What book you going into?
The book of Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 25. And I'm gonna get it in the Blue Letter Bible so I can get the NLT version.
All right. What chapter again?
Chapter 12, verse 25.
Con.
Um,
12 and verse 25.
when it says, Yahweh knew their thoughts.
Yes.
All right, you can read it. You can read it in the, from the book, and then I'll read it in the NLT that we pulled up.
Con. This is verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand.
Get 26 as well. Get 26 as well.
And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
All right, so that's the King James version, right? So
Come.
in the NLT version, it says Yahweh knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. All right, and you're going to have a great number of people being betrayed by their families, by both their parents, their brethren, their kinfolks, their friends. He mentions that in, I think, in the book of Luke, if I'm not mistaken. It mentions how that you shall be betrayed by both parents, brethren, your kinfolks, and your friends, and some of them shall cause you to be put to death. I think something like that. To paraphrase it. Right? Is a town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart. Verse 26, and if Satan is casting out Satan, he is divided and fighting against himself. His own kingdom will not survive. All right. So, during the Civil War, you're going to have a lot of these events going on. All right. You're going to have the famine, the pestilences, people being ravished. A great number of deaths is going to continue to increase going out, Lord willing. All right. Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. I was going to, talk about various topics, current events, to the student part of God. So I'm gonna close out. Barak Yahweh.
Barak Yahweh.
Barak Yahushua.
Barak Yahushua.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Barak Kadash.
Barak Wadash.
Olayim.
Olayim.
La'abanawo.
La'abanawo.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Barak Kadash.
Barak Wadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Ruel and Tisro. Much due respect to the sincere Akim for our labor and works. Shalom to you believers and Akim and Hakwayim, to your brothers and sisters who subscribe to the truth. All right, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. And, DTA, all soon, Lord willing. Abba Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashah, Bahashah, All right, death to America real soon. All right, Sharala, Yahweh, now Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Kadash. Rise Israel, our Father Yahweh, in the name Yahweh, in the name of the Holy Spirit. All right, Shalom, on to the next lesson. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua,
Yahweh, Barak Yahushua, Barak